Good evening. In today's session, let's discuss a topic called Dignified Economic Life. Look at the words carefully. Dignified Economic Life. So, obviously, this is a topic that is related to Indian economy. But let me tell you one thing, this particular topic is also related to the society. And from this particular area, there is a possibility of getting a question in Indian economy, or you may get a question even under a general essay. That is the reason why please pay complete attention, listen to each of my every word. Depending on the necessity in the examination, you can mold the answer a little bit and you can expand it as an essay, or you can contract it as an answer in the general studies paper under Indian economy. So the topic is dignified economic life. In the constitution, we have the concept of social justice, economic justice, and political justice. So there should be an equality in the society, but is that equality seen in India even after so many years of independence? That is a big question. That is the reason why, in general, saying that the gap between rich and poor has to be bridged so that there will be an egalitarian society in the country. But what exactly is happening in reality is that the gap is increasing. The gap between rich and poor is not decreasing, but it is increasing. That is a fact. So we have the figures related to the last 5 years, and we are going to discuss this topic based on that one. And the topic is dignified economic life. Clear? So we are touching the concepts of the preamble, we are touching the concepts of Indian economy, we are touching the concepts of Indian society, and altogether this may also become a part of general essay question, right? So now we are going to discuss this in detail. So basically what is happening, it is a responsibility of the state. What do you mean by state? Whenever I say state, please recollect article number 12 and article number 36. Under this particular articles, state is mentioned as the government. State is nothing but the government and its related institutions. Meaning, it is the responsibility of the government to take care of the welfare of the people. Especially in a country like India, which is very, very vast area with the highest population in the world, with a large number of people living under poverty, it becomes the responsibility of the state to take care of the welfare of the people. But what exactly is happening? If you look at the scenario, both the central government and also the state governments are providing welfare measures. Today you look at the central government, today you look at your own state where they are providing lots of welfare mechanisms. But the point is that, are these welfare mechanisms sufficient for the people to live a dignified life? I am using the word dignified life. I am using the word dignity. Every person wants a dignity. So whether they are expressive or not, everybody wants to be dignified. Everybody wants to be very rich. Everybody wants to be recognized in the society. Everybody wants to be respected in the society. That is the dignity. And when it comes to this dignified economic life, that is missing in India because of the various factors. And what are all the factors we are going to discuss now? And the most important factors are unemployment, number one. Number two is the price rise. Look at our country for the last 5 years. What happened to the employment levels, both at the central and state levels? And what's happening about the price rise? You may argue in one way, when the price is increasing, when the prices are increasing, that is affecting all the people in the country equally irrespective of the status. Clear? But the point is that if there is a price rise, there will not be any problem with the for the affluent people. They are economically sound. But when it comes to the poor communities, when it comes to the marginalized sections of the society, these are the people who are getting affected very badly because of the increasing unemployment and also increasing the price rise. These two are the major issues in India today that is leading to lack of dignity for large number of people in the country. Then what should be done? Who is responsible for this? What measures must be taken? If there is so much of a gap, not just in the form of economic, but also in the form of dignity, then how can you call it a social justice as mentioned in the constitution? That is the reason why sometimes some people will say all these principles are considered to be, a mockery. So they are becoming mockery, and the responsibility lies with the government. Responsibility lies with the state. Please remember this. And that is the whole topic today. And the topic is dignified economic life. Now, I would like to show you the points related to this one. But before going ahead into the details of this topic, I want you to be familiarized, get familiarized with certain words. What are they? Have a look at this. Most of you might have heard the words like, the first one, welfare state. Clear? So you must have heard this word, welfare state. So India is a welfare state. Apart from the words welfare state, very frequently we come across with the words like police state, charitable state. Clear? And let me tell you what exactly is the meaning of this. Kindly remember, whenever you are learning a new topic, it need not be necessary that you will be writing the points only in the related area. Depending on the necessity, depending on the relevance, these points can be written under any other topic. Clear? That is the beauty of the civil services examination and also the group 1 main examination. Clear? Look at this. And everybody who is preparing for civil services and also group 1, you have to know the meaning of these words, which we use very frequently while dealing with the any topic under our syllabus. First one is a welfare state, a state that provides economic security. Is it happening in India? Large number of welfare schemes are being implemented both by the central and state governments. Clear? But the point is that whether these scheme benefits are reaching everybody who is eligible to receive these schemes, meaning is it reaching to the right beneficiaries or not? Is there any form of corruption in between? Is the complete money, is the complete benefit that has to reach the beneficiary is reaching, or is it getting diverted in any other form? These are all important here. Clear? Number one, India is a welfare state, meaning India is a state that provides economic security. We agree with this. But we question the implementation, the execution of this concept. Point number one. Number two, we are not police state. We are not police state. If it is a police state, what will happen? A state which is only concerned about maintenance of law and order. If you look at some of the communist countries in the world, those countries are considered to be police state, meaning they use the power to control the people on the name of maintenance of law and order. They just don't bother about the welfare of the people and the economy of the people. Clear? So this is the police state. Number three, charitable state. Probably most of you might be hearing these words for the first time. Charitable state means a state that provides welfare as a charity and not as a right. But if you look at, the Constitution of India, it has given certain rights to the people. It has also given certain obligations to the government. So whatever the welfare activities that are being implemented by the government, these are the obligations, these are the directions that are given by the Constitution to the government. Meaning it is the responsibility of the government to do certain activities for the welfare of the people. They are not doing any charity. But today's governments, they are thinking that they are doing charity for the people. That is the reason why these governments may be criticized as charitable state. Am I clear? Very, 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 very important. These points you are supposed to write depending on the necessity and relevance. Kindly remember this. Next, when it comes to marginalized groups. So we have heard the words like suppressed groups, oppressed groups, downtrodden groups. Like similarly you have marginalized groups. Kindly remember, marginalized groups are nothing but the Dalits, Adivasis and other minorities. Dalits, Adivasis and other minorities. Dalits means scheduled caste, Adivasis means scheduled tribes. Clear? Are they enjoying all their rights? Right? So whether the state is protecting every right of these individuals. If there is any economic issue at this particular level of the society, then what is the meaning of the words social justice? That is the point here. Clear? When it comes to dignity, the quality of a person that makes him or her deserving of respect. Everybody wants to get the name. Everybody wants to get the fame. Everybody wants to become rich. Everybody wants to get recognized in the society. Clear? Meaning everybody wants to live a dignified life. But the point here is that dignified economic life is missing in the marginalized groups. How? That we are going to discuss now. As I told you in the beginning of the class, remember these two concepts: increase in unemployment, increase in price rises. This is leading to the lack of dignity in the economic life. Clear? Very, very important one. So now you know the meaning of the words: welfare state, police state, charitable state, marginalized groups, and the word dignity. So now from here we will be going ahead and discuss further. Look at this. So the possible questions may be like this. As I told you, you may get a question under Indian economy, or you may get a question under general essay, depending on the place, depending on the paper where exactly you are getting the question. So you need to write the answer. That is the reason why this topic I will be discussing at length. Depending on the necessity, either you expand it or you contract to suit your answer in the examination. Clear? So this is how you have to prepare for the examination. This is how all the serious candidates will prepare, and I know you are all very, very, very studious and serious candidates. Fine. Now let's look at this. The magnitude of unemployment is so alarming that the conventional rural urban divide has become almost irrelevant. You might have heard these words earlier. Urban unemployment is increasing, rural unemployment is increasing. So we used to discuss separately by dividing this urban and rural areas. But now the question is that the unemployment levels are increasing at so higher level, and it's really alarming. The magnitude of unemployment is so alarming that the conventional, traditional, old method of rural urban divide has become almost irrelevant, meaning you need not mention separately about the rural unemployment and urban unemployment. And unemployment is everywhere, and also the participation of a number of women in total number of employees is also decreasing, and this is another very very serious concern. Clear? And this is the statement you are supposed to comment on this. Or question may be, what is a dignified economic life? Discuss measures to achieve it. Very 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 important topic we are discussing, right? Please note down these questions. Look at this now. Yeah, so in order to write answer for this question, you should know what is economic dignity, what are the types of dignities. These you have to write compulsorily when you are attempting general essay question. This one you can avoid if it is a question under Indian economy. Clear? I told you already, you have to be very smart and very sharp to mold. Clear? To mold your answer to suit the requirements, right? But I told you already, we are going to discuss very elaborately. Next, issues of unemployment and price rise, that is the basic issue here. Who are affected more by this? Meaning, if there is a spurt in unemployment, if there is a price rise, who are getting affected more, right? And we already said that it is the marginalized groups that are getting affected. Next, who is responsible for this? We are throwing the responsibility directly on the state. Clear? Next, is the concept of social justice in question? Yes, obviously, when there is no economic, the equality, the concept of the social equality is also not there. Social equality is not just treating people equal alike, but you should also look at the status of all the people. That is what is very very, very important. Even today also society is divided based on the economy. Please listen to me very very carefully. That is the reason why rich are feeling that they are rich, and poor still they are feeling they are poor, and there is so much of gap, and the gap is increasing, the gap is widening, the gap is expanding. Clear? But our motto is to bridge the gap, reduce the gap. Clear? But unfortunately that is getting widened. Am I clear? And finally you need to give the conclusion. Am I clear? So what is economic dignity, types of dignities, issues of unemployment and price rise, who are affected more by this, who is responsible for this, is the concept of social justice in question, and the conclusion. Let's look at every point closely now. When it comes to economic dignity, this is a concept with 4 dimensions that I draw from different aspects of dignity. So when I say dignity, so here dignity we are relating with the word economic. Is that okay? But there are 4 different forms of this dignity, and all these we are trying to link to economic dignity. One is, dignity is intrinsic to all the people, whether a person accepts or not. The concept of dignity is intrinsic. So internally everybody feels that I should be respected, I should have a status, I should have so much of bank balance, and I should be very famous. Clear? And I should reach to that position. So this is a general concept. So dignity is intrinsic to all the people, that should be realized by the government. Number 2, dignity as a status. What exactly are you in the society? That is the dignity as status. Dignity as function. Whatever the functions I am performing in the society, how valuable they are to the society, that is called dignity as function. Clear? Somebody is performing functions as a teacher at the higher level. Somebody is functioning the duties as an IAS officer at the higher level. Somebody is performing functions as a a minister, right? Somebody is at the prime minister level. So dignity as function. So that is also a part of this. And finally, dignity as manner or bearing. Let's try to understand more and more about these points. Kindly have a look at this. Look at this. First one, when it comes to dignity as an intrinsic feature. Very, very, very important one. Please listen to me very, very carefully. Dignity as an intrinsic feature is drawn from the idea that everyone should be treated as being capable of making decisions and acting freely. Yes or no? What is happening now? So there is a boss is passing on the orders, and it should be followed by the the employees. So there is no way or place to take decisions on own and executing that. Clear? Very, very, very important one. So here everybody wants to take the decisions on his or her own and execute, right? But that is not happening because of the status, economic status. Clear? So dignity as an intrinsic feature is drawn from the idea that everyone should be treated as being capable of making decisions and acting freely, and supported in making choices that they have a reason to value. This is what is expected by every individual in the society. When people are prevented from making important economic choices, it can be harmful to their economic dignity because they are deprived of the ability to exercise their strength. That is the reason why this is what exactly is happening in the society. People are being prevented, they are being forced not to do certain things, and that is really becoming very, 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 very harmful. Just try to understand the psychological situation of that person. Clear? Am I clear? Very, very, very important one. Clear? They are being deprived of the ability to exercise their strength. This is the dignity as an intrinsic feature. So this is the first one. When we go to the second one, look at this. Dignity as a status. So we have two types of dignities here, altogether four. On this page we have two. One is dignity as status, second one is dignity as function. So when it comes to dignity as status, this is awarded to people based on the status of the position that they occupy in our society. Right? Treat an IAS officer in such a way by looking at the status. In the same department, a superintendent is working, right? A superintendent is working, or a UDC, LDC are working, or a person is working as a peon or a car driver in the same department. Just because they are working in the same department, is the status same? Definitely not. Clear? That is a problem here. So dignity as a status is awarded to people based upon the status of the position that they occupy in the society. Clear? That is the reason why when we invite an IAS officer or a minister to a function, once they arrive, we all get alerted. We all become alert, and the relatives, friends who are all over there, they also get alert. Clear? Because of the status of that particular person. Fine? If a person who is doing a normal job appears over there, nobody will bother. Clear? So this is the dignity as a status. This is visible in different treatment of people, groups or sectors of the economy. Clear? This is what is happening. That is the reason why rich people are being treated in one form and poor sections are being treated in another form. That is the dignity as a status. Number 3, dignity as function draws from the idea that people should be able to serve a function that they feel is valuable to society. I told you already. So whatever the functions that I'm performing, these functions should be valued in the society. That is called dignity as a function, meaning they are drawing the dignity to the functions that are being performed by them because they are being valued in the society. Am I clear? And that they have a reason to value. This can be in the form of either paid or unpaid work. Right? Very, very, very important one. So this is the third one. Now we go to the fourth form of dignity, the last one. Dignity as bearing is tied to the idea of acting well in the face of a contradictory inclination. Economic dignity draws on this idea to highlight the way that being forced to make impossible choices. This is the problem here. So you are trying to give certain choices to the people, right? And they are contradictory, and people are, it is impossible to make the choice. So there is an urban area, people are living over there for quite many years, but on the name of the development, the government wants those people to vacate that area. In return, government wants to give them some money, or rehabilitation is provided somewhere else. Which one is better? Most of the people will prefer to stay there only, right? But they are being forced by the government. They are being given options, but those options we are not preferring. So this is impossible for us to make the choices, and that is falling as a dignity as bearing. Am I clear? Very, 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 very important. This is how the concept of dignity is related to the dignity of economic life. Very, very, very important. Now we'll get into the answer. If it is only a question in general studies, right? General studies, other papers, not in general essay, then you can start writing from here. But if it is general essay, whatever I have discussed with you till now, that you are expected to write in the examination. Clear? Now onwards again, please listen to me very carefully as you have been listening, till now. Excuse me. Look at this. So the two concepts here, one is the price rise and unemployment. So our entire discussion is revolving around this. So price rise and unemployment have emerged as serious concerns for a significant majority of Indians. Yes or no? If you count the people, the number of super rich or rich people is very, very less when compared to the poor people. Yes, right? So price rise and unemployment, these two are the serious concerns. Clear? If there is unemployment, no job. No job means no earning. No earning means no capacity to purchase. Clear? And if somebody has a job also, whatever the meager amount the person is getting, that person is unable to purchase certain things because of the inflation, because of the price rise. In both the ways, the people are getting affected. Unemployed people are getting affected more badly, and employed people are also getting affected because of the price rise. These two are the serious concern. The employment opportunities at all levels have gone down in the last 5 years. Last 5 years means I am talking about the up to 2024. Clear? So taking from the 2019 up to 2024, right? So till today we are discussing about this. So at all levels the employment opportunities have dropped down. At the same time, the prices of essential commodities continues to increase. Yes or no? Absolutely yes, right? If anybody is not agreeing, please check the price of a commodity today and please check the price of the same commodity 5 years back. The interlinkages between these two issues have affected the ability of a household to maintain its standard of living in the ever changing economic life of the country. Yes or no? the economic life changes very very rapidly, very very faster pace. So when the economy is good, when the employment opportunities are there, so you call it, there is an increase in the standard of living. But the same people in the same society may face a difficult situation when they lose the job. What happens to standard of living? What happens to the quality of life? And what happens to the dignity? Clear? Right. Next. Look at this. The employment situation in our country is very critical. Getting job has become much more difficult now. The magnitude of unemployment is so alarming that the conventional rural urban divide has become almost irrelevant. That is the reason why you can see large number of unemployed in the cities, in the towns, and also in the villages. Earlier, as I told you in the beginning, so we can say rural unemployment and urban unemployment. So that particular difference has been blurred now, right? So the conventional difference of rural urban divide is no more relevant at the current stage. Please remember this very clearly. Clear? The unemployment crisis is not restricted to any special location, right? If you look at entire India, unemployment we can see everywhere in every area in the country. It is not just restricted to South India or North India or northeastern part or eastern part or western part. That is the reason why this is not restricted to any special location. People find it hard to get economically sustainable occupations in big cities, small towns, and even in the rural areas. Everywhere the people are facing the same problem. This trend has also affected the gender dimension of employment. That is the reason why it is found that the work opportunities have reduced considerably for women. On one side, we are feeling happy that women are getting empowered. But the reality here, in general, the employment opportunities are coming down for the women. This is a matter of a serious concern. By empowering women, we need to empower the quality of their lives. But here what is happening? Lack of employment opportunities will deteriorate that quality. That is the reason why what is being said and what is being done, there is a huge difference. Right? Now, let's go ahead. The price rise has disturbed that everyday economic equilibrium of individual households. Right? And as you know, my dear friends, large number of people or families in the country even today, they go to grocery shop, vegetable shops to purchase their day-to-day, food needs. In few houses, the so-called rich people, they may be getting the groceries for a period of 1 month, 2 months, or 3 months at a time. But this is not the scenario in poor houses. Clear? And that is disturbing their, everyday economic equilibrium. Right? The prices have increased considerably in the last 5 years. Although the price rise as a monetary concern has affected all economic classes, everybody, whether you are rich or poor, the price rise is getting affected. But the poor, the low income groups, and marginalized rural communities are the worst sufferers in this particular regard. Clear? You can say that prices are increasing for all the people. Everybody is getting affected. But who is getting affected very badly? Rich people, they have money. If you increase the price by tenfold, also they have the capacity to buy. But if you increase by twofolds also, or by a margin of 25 paise also, that will become very difficult for a common man to purchase. These are the points that should be understood by you. Clear? Next, this economic marginalization of a vast majority of Indians underlines the fact that economic disparity is increasing with an alarming pace. This is the point that I want you to understand very, very clearly. Because of all these reasons, the economic disparity is increasing with an alarming pace. I have used simple words earlier. The gap between rich and poor are increasing. It is getting widened. Clear? So here we are saying the same words. Economic disparity is increasing with an alarming pace. It has to be stopped, right? Meaning government has to take the measures. Next, the growing economic crisis has an interesting social dimension, right? So till now we have discussed only about the economy, but now we are coming to the society, right? So this economic dimension has also got the social dimension. Am I clear? Please listen to me very clearly. Try to understand me very, 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 very clearly. That is the reason why you cannot separate economy and society and read separately and present separately. Questions are being asked in such a way that economic things and social things are being clubbed, and you are supposed to mix both and present your answer in a fantastic manner. This happens even with the governance. This happens with the the constitution. This happens with the polity. Clear? Everywhere there is an interlinkage. Alright, that is the reason why comprehensive preparation for the examination is really very important. Hope you are understanding, my dear friends. Thank you. All social groups claim that unemployment and price rise are affecting their economic life. Everybody is saying that one. Clear? The marginalized social groups, however, are more vocal than others. Everybody is getting affected, but marginalized groups are getting affected more, and they are becoming more vocal. 67% of Muslims assert that finding a job is really becoming very difficult. And they are also saying that, they are more concerned about the price rise. 76% are saying that there is a price rise. It shows that the economic questions are interpreted through the prism of the social identity at the grassroots level. Clear? These are all the questions related to the economy, but that is reflecting on the prism of the social identity. Poorer sections, marginalized sections, downtrodden sections. This is the social identity prism, right? This makes the idea of social justice more comprehensive and meaningful. Meaning you have to think more about the social justice. Because of the economic differences, there are differences that are occurring even in the social justice also. So take care of the economic activities, and it will take care of the social justice activities. Poor and marginalized Indian communities desire to have economic sustainability without giving up the idea of the social justice. You cannot give up the idea of social justice, because it is mentioned in the constitution, but unfortunately even today also that is not being implemented properly and effectively by the governments at the central and state levels. So very, very, very unfortunate to say this. Alright, hope you are getting this. So this is how, so we are linking the economic topics with the social issues. Clear? Now look at this. Majority believe that both central and state governments are responsible for shrinking employment opportunities and price rises. Who is responsible? State is responsible. Which state? Both at the central and state level. These are the governments that are responsible for this increasing unemployment and also the price rise. Clear? So this perception can be interpreted in two related ways. There is a clear expectation from the state to intervene, number one, or the state should remain outside with respect to this. Either state should intervene and do something, or leave it to the liberal market and state can say outside. Clear? So these are the two things that are there. Now, charitable state. So the welfare state is becoming charitable state. Instead of protecting the economic interests of the people, the governments at the central and state levels are acting like charity, as if they are doing some charity. How long the people will rely on this charity? That is the reason why create a situation where there is a huge strength for all the people with respect to economy. So charitable state, a state that provides welfare as a charity, not as a right. But welfare is our right. That is the obligation of the government. But whatever the welfare we are talking about, the government is thinking in terms of the charity. There has been an acceptability for welfare schemes introduced by different governments in favor of the poor and marginalized communities. Yes, we are not saying that the governments are not doing any welfare activities. They are doing, right? However, this state charity is not seen as a permanent solution. Whatever the charity that you are doing, central and state governments, that is not permanent solution. That is not permanent solution. Listen to me very carefully. Instead, there is an assertion that state should ensure the possibilities of dignified employment, create the employment opportunities, provide dignified employment to us, and automatically the economic barriers what we are talking about can be closed, and the economic issues which are reflecting in the social identity, they will also get diminished over a period of time. Please think on this. We have discussed regarding very 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 important topic. As I told you, this may be a question in the as a part of general essay, or it may be a question in the form of under Indian economy paper. Fine. So thank you so much for being with me this evening, and I'll see you in the next session, and I wish you all a very very good luck.